Hey there, it's John. It is very late on Thursday, June 25th, 2009, and I wanted to do this real quick. As we all know, today, a musical icon, a musical genius, a pop culture phenomenon, the one person known as the King of Pop passed away at age 50 in Los Angeles due to cardiac arrest. It has been a very emotional day. This is also the day earlier this morning, TV actress icon Farrah Fawcett passed away. Earlier this week, sidekick of Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon, passed away. In Chicago, journalist, icon, genius, reporter John Calloway passed away yesterday. But what I'm here to talk about is the man, the music, the mystery, the mystique, the genius, the artistry of what is Michael Jackson. Because of this album, because of this number one selling album of all time, pop culture, music, entertainment will never be the same. There will never be another Michael Jackson. Just like there isn't another John Lennon, just like there isn't another Elvis. These are musical artists who touched every single person on this planet. They gave of themselves, they gave of their creativity to promote a humanity through their music, through their pop culture, through media, through entertainment. And above all of them, Michael Jackson definitely achieved that. For his charitable actions, for co-writing We Are the World. I know history is going to write a lot of things about Michael Jackson in the next coming days and over the next few years. But to me, Michael Jackson was just more than an entertainer. He was something very magical. He was something special. There was a reason why millions of people around the world connected to him and his music. I wasn't just a fan of his music, but whenever I hear Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, there's an extra connection, there's an extra level of emotional connection because it always reminds me of my father. My father was your basic Mexican immigrant who barely knew enough Spanish to make a living day to day, who slaved his life in a steel mill and a machine shop for many years. And of all the fondest memories that I have of my father is that he was a fan of pop music. He loved Donna Summer. He loved Tom Jones. He loved Neil Diamond. And of pop music in the 80s, he loved Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And there were many times we'd have family functions and family parties on the weekends. And my father would like to entertain. He liked to have a good time. And he liked to listen to music. And we'd be listening to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. We would listen to Neil Diamond. We would listen to Barry Manilow's Copacabana. And then in the 80s, it was Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And how magical was Michael Jackson's Billie Jean? It was so magical that it connected to this 50-something Mexican immigrant who would mimic the Michael Jackson moonwalk. He would get up in the middle of a party, and as soon as Michael Jackson's Billie Jean was on the plane and the speakers, he'd pretend to be Michael Jackson and do the moonwalk. And we would laugh because here he was trying to do a Michael Jackson impersonation. And he just loved Billie Jean for whatever reason, you know? And those are the things that I treasure. And those are the reasons why people probably connect with Michael Jackson's music on various levels. And it's just very emotional. It's been a very emotional past 7 hours or so. This morning we heard about Farrah Fawcett around 9:30 in the morning, and then we were hearing about all this stuff, and then like around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the news broke about Michael Jackson being rushed to the hospital, and then for a couple hours they weren't sure if he was in a coma or what had happened, and ultimately everything was confirmed. And in the past 7 hours, I've been out and about with friends and doing things, and just I haven't seen any TV, I haven't seen any internet postings, and I was getting a lot of text messages on Twitter regarding it, and I just had to turn it off. And I know my mother called me, my sister called me to find out how I was doing. And it's just amazing. It's so sad, and I don't know what's. There's just never gonna. This is it. This is probably the end of a great era of music and in pop culture. I know we still have Madonna and we still have Prince, and they're probably the last two of the mega artists that really, along with Michael Jackson in the 80s, evolved music, then pushed music, and wanted to make music connect on a different and a deeper level. And it's just next couple of days are just going to be really amazing to try to, I don't want to sound cliche, and I don't want to make it sound glib and say, oh my God, how are we going to live on, and how can I, get my act together, and what does this mean on a greater scale of things? And on a greater scale of things, I think it just means like, acknowledge the day, take charge of the day, make peace with everyone that you might have things against with, or I don't want to say take day by day, but live the day for the day, but do what you got to do. I'm gonna be 40 in about 5 months, and I think this is probably for the past month or so I've been really like taking it in. A friend of mine turned 40 last week, and I saw him tonight, and he came up to me. He says, I want to thank you for just being my friend, and I want to thank you that you were part of this special celebration, that you were there to be with my friends. And last week it was about 20 or 30 of us, and we just had a great time, and we were together, and there wasn't any drama, and no one, and we were out in a bar in the back patio, and it was raining and cold, but somehow, because we were with our friends and we were with people we cared about, we didn't notice any of that. We just had a really great time. And just about an hour ago, I called my friend in California, a really good friend of mine, and I had to call him and tell him how much I loved him, because he's probably one of the truest best friends that I have, and I just needed to hear him. I needed to talk to him, and we had a great talk, and I know it's just words. I know it's just feelings and emotions, but I just it's hard to believe, to say I'm speechless, or that words can't express what's going on and what's happened. People say they remember the day that John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and they say they remember the day they heard Elvis had died. They remember the day that John Lennon was assassinated, and we're also going to remember the day where we were, what we were doing on 9/11. And now there's this new chapter. We're going to remember where we were or what we were doing when we heard about the passing of Michael Jackson. I just want to take this moment and extend my deepest sympathy and respect to the Jackson family. I just can't imagine what they're going through right this moment. And I hope, we learn from this. I hope we grow from this and just embrace the genius and the artistry of who Michael Jackson truly was. And I hope history will present him fairly and accurately. So here we are at the passing of Michael Jackson. Thank you.